asked you before about the trend in the shots. Is it, again, they're just not falling? Is there anything else that you guys can discern on the sidelines?
I mean, our overall execution and pace, in the half court, thought was great early in the first quarter. It was crisp. The ball was moving. There was plenty of ball and body movement, which was good to see. Those are the misses that, we're comfortable with. We started to bog down a little bit and kind of fell into that same trap of stagnating, not executing. We weren't always in the right spot. We don't value those possessions. It catches up to you. And it's not just the turnovers. Those are the obvious ones. But the wasted possessions, the broken possessions, where we're not organized, and, possessions that start bad usually end bad. And so the combination of those two, I think, they really hurt us.
You talked about on defense, the multiple effort, but when a play breaks down on offense, are you seeing that disorganization kind of, okay, nobody's adjusting the right way on the fly?
Yeah, well, some of it too is once those plays break down, we kind of just stop and stand. We have to be comfortable, continue to keep energy in the ball. And it's not always just, one guy, making a play for everybody else. Open up the nail, move, cut, respace. Takes a little bit of effort. And, at times, if you're not getting the payoff, you stop doing it. That's where we have to fight that, disease of me and just say, hey, I got to do what's best for the group right now.
I think they started 10 of 16 from three. So you guys finished better than the overall percentage. But why do you think the 3-point defense was?
Well, into the half, I thought, the small pick and roll gave us problems. Where we weren't switching at the level. The ball walked into a couple. Third quarter, the transition threes, Rozier got. I know he made 8 of them, but I would probably guess, I know for sure 3, if not 4, we're just in transition. There's really no coverage for that. It's just urgency and effort, awareness to get to that guy. Understand he's got a game rolling, so it's a priority to find him.
What made Terry Rozier just so tough in general tonight?
Yeah, he's one of those guys that, he sees it go in, and he can really get going, heat up quickly. And, I think we had that stretch where, we couldn't buy a stop, called the timeout, and we changed our own complexion. Didn't change the coverage. The fact that, our care factor went up a bit. It's that part's good that we responded, but the fact that we have to respond, at all, that's just who we should be. Finding a way to, continue to play that way every minute, being in the right spot, being in the right coverage, communicating the right commands, doing everything I need to do in that possession, offensively and defensively. It's, it's not always easy, but that's the challenge.
You guys out rebounded them by 31 and lost. I feel like that probably doesn't happen very often. Is there something that you guys should have done differently to take advantage of that advantage that you had?
Our conversion rate wasn't great, where they got back taps and 50-50 balls and they converted. Not all, but a lot of them. So, it's a great stat. It's good that we've, are able to out rebound a team. But then again, if they're not missing, not a whole lot of rebounds.
Wes, are you, I guess, what do you see from Spencer's level of activity tonight?
I don't think it was where it should be. He had some good moments, but on a night like tonight, we need more. And that's not just him. We need it from everybody. And it's got to be a priority. That's, can we sustain our play?
Not to press, but more in terms of getting other guys open or kind of leading those second efforts on offense?
No, I think it's, in every facet of the game. And like I said, it's not just him. I think we all have to, look in the mirror. I got to look in the mirror. I got outcoached, bottom line. So how do we respond? How do we, learn from this? We've been able to skate by getting double-digit deficits and climbing our way back into it. And that's a great story. But do we learn a lesson? End of the second, start of the third, rather. I think it was a 22-8 run. We can't do that. You allow teams that momentum, it's really, really difficult to, regroup, weather that storm, and then climb back into a game.
Are there things you guys can do to get Brad more into a rhythm or anything?
Yeah, I think so. And once again, that every team's going to key their defense to start around him. So it's never going to be easy. It's easier when we're getting stops. we're turning those transition opportunities into easy points. But if we're just always, taking the ball out of the net, walking it up and trying to execute against a set defense, a defense that has shown their flexibility to switch, to zone, to manipulate at some point, it's really tough. So if we get stops, obviously we have to finish possessions and rebound, then it turns into easy offense for us.
Josh.
Coach, are you seeing enough attacks on the paint, enough drives and kicks, that sort of thing?
Tonight, no. In general, I would say yes. We struggled from three, and we've had some difficulty from the 3-point line, early in this season. But our paint attacks overall have been pretty good.
All right, Coach. I think that's it.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Brad, West said the issues on the offense, what he saw was disorganization and not valuing possessions. What are you seeing out there? How do you kind of explain it?
First, praise my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. A little bit, I think we could definitely get into our flow a little bit faster. Definitely some miscommunication, not on the same page at times, or everybody not knowing the play. We got to be better at that for sure. But I think it starts on the defensive end. We don't get stops enough for us to be able to get out and create some advantages for ourselves. It's tough when you have to play in a half court the whole game. So, especially against an athletic team like them, like they can switch 1 through 5, they can guard, they junk it up. So they just made it tough. We have to be better at getting stops and getting out and running and getting some easier looks for us.
Kind of on the other end, what did you see on the perimeter defense tonight?
It was a one-on-one game. That's what it was. It was guard your man. It was a few high pick and rolls earlier in the game. Like they were running stack action a lot throughout the course of the game. That bothered us for sure. We made the adjustment at halftime and kind of slowed that down. But then at the end of the game, it just became one-on-one. They called out who they wanted and broke down the defense and got to the basket. So all it came down to was guarding your man, guarding your matchup, and taking that challenge. So
You said a lot before the year that, offense will be fine. We just kind of have to focus on defense because that's where we've been. But I think entering this game, you guys are like 17th in offensive rating. Is the offense not where you thought it would be, or how do you kind of go about just fixing that?
Obviously, we know the biggest adjustment with a new team, new system is always going to be offense. It's rarely ever the defense. It's because you're getting used to new things, new plays, new system. Defensively, everything is usually the same, or at least conceptually they're the same. So offense-wise, it's, getting adjusted, getting used to guys' tendencies, what certain plays are our go-tos, what work for us. And we're still getting used to playing with each other still. So like I said, we're not even 20 games in yet, so we're still adjusting. But it's not where we wanted to be, obviously, but we're not 30th, so it could be worse.
What's that process been like for you? Just, getting the rhythm of the plays and knowing where you're supposed to be in that sort of thing?
It's a work in progress for sure. I'm still learning, how coach wants to utilize me and, where I fit in best here, and just adjusting as we go. For sure. And then as teams are constantly guarding me and just kind of figuring it all out, it's an adjustment. It's tough for sure. But we're figuring it out on the fly.
You guys out rebounded them 77-46. It was plus 31. Usually with advantage like that,
Really?
Yeah, you think a team would win. Why do you think that you guys weren't able to take advantage of that huge discrepancy?
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating here. Because last game they kicked our butts on the boards. I think they kicked Atlanta's butts on the boards. I think they had like 20 offensive rebounds last game or something like that. And that was our point of emphasis tonight, making sure that we limit them to one shot and get out. And here we beat them 30 by 31. That's definitely disheartening. That just goes to show we didn't execute on the other end. So.
And the pass you had to Trez was like 93 feet, and it was right on the money. Is it safe to say you don't practice that very often? Is that like entirely instincts?
Yeah, it's all instincts. It's funny. We had like a little throwing day practice and training camp with footballs and stuff. And Trez got mad at me because I underthrew him a little bit. He's a tight end, so he likes the ball high to where he can only get it. And that's something we learned. Like I always see him, like he contests a shot, he gets out and run. And he has long arms and he knows how to go get the ball. He meets the ball at his highest point, like receivers should do. So I just throw it up, use a little bit of my old quarterback skills, and trust Chaz to do the rest.
Just going back to the offense, you guys are missing like Bryant, Bertans, and Rui. Like, how much do you think their additions eventually will help you guys fix that?
Oh man, tremendously. I'll be lying if I said that we don't miss those guys. We've had success. We're 11-6 now, and we've had some success, but they are still vital pieces to our team, to our core. We definitely miss Rui, TB, Bertans. Hopefully he's back next game. But we have a lot here still, even with the guys out. So, as much as we can't make that excuse, we do miss those guys, but we still have enough to win games, and we've proven that. So,
What made Terry Rozier so tough tonight?
I think he was pissed the way he played last game against us, so he came out with a chip on his shoulder, and he came and lit us up. So, he was aggressive from start. He got a couple threes early looks on, and T. Rozier has always been a problem. So, once he was going, it was kind of worried a little bit. But he had a good game. You tip your hat off to him.
All right, we'll go to Zoom. Neil.
Brad, coach was like, it was nice that you guys responded, were able to get back into the game, but at the same time, you shouldn't have to over and over again have to respond to these deficits. What is he conveying to you guys, and how do you guys have that consistency you guys want for a full 48 minutes?
The same thing he's telling you guys. We got to be better at the beginning of quarters, first and third particularly, and then closing out the second and fourth. Those were a lot of the runs come in at, and where we have to be better at. And we come in and we kind of dig ourselves a hole early on, and it hurts us, because we end up climbing back. Like, we're down 16 again tonight or something like that, and we fight all the way back, to potentially get the lead, and then we're down 10 again. So just that energy drain of trying to catch up. Eventually, team's going to stop their run and go on another one. So we have to do better of just not digging ourselves a hole, especially first and third, and that's on the starters.
And the miscommunication that you were talking about, is that somewhat related to the turnover issue tonight?
It could be. I didn't look at the stat sheet, and I don't know how many we had or I had, but we had a few unforced ones for the most part, and we got to be better at doing that. We got to be better at taking care of the ball. Some of them were some miscommunications of just us not being in the right spots in certain plays and not meeting the ball. But a lot of them were just lackadaisical, bouncing off our foot, losing the ball.
Thanks, Brad.
All right, last question to Josh.
Brad, that was maybe the best ball movement, body movement first quarter your team has had all season, certainly up there. Did the Hornets do anything to adjust and take your team out of that ball movement and that rhythm?
It's tough to say. I feel like at times we get complacent and think we can kind of flip on the switch and turn it on, or kind of get away from our game plan or get away from what works. We have to stop doing that. We got to stick to what's been working and stay on it, and that's body movement, player movement. And when we do that, we're really good. When we don't, we're very stagnant. We ball watch, and it's a very ugly offense to watch. So we got to be better at that. It's just a matter of drilling it, figuring out what plays work for us and making sure we're on the same page.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, Brad.
What do you think made the difference for them tonight?
They made shots. They got comfortable from the three-point line early, and it carried over into the second half. Simple as that. We had a lot of, miscommunication out there as far as on the defensive end, things that we kind of wanted to do and kind of take them out of. And, we didn't really do that. Terry started out the game hot. Looks like he was 8 for 11 from one player. And that's all shooting threes, man. So that's tough.
You had 18 rebounds. You guys actually out-rebounded them by 31, which is a pretty big margin. What's kind of key to taking advantage of that part of the game when you guys do have such a discrepancy?
Scoring the ball, man. Continue to run our offense, and we need to actually continue to execute the plays all the way through and through. We can't try to get it all back in one possession. We can't try to, make up our own, things as we go. We just got to keep doing it together. And I think we hit we hit some aspects of the night where I felt like we were just trying to get it all back in one play instead of just letting it come to us or, letting it find us throughout the offense. We tried to break the rhythm of it and, just try to, put ourselves in, hero ball position. And we can't do that, man. We got to continue to do what got us here, what got us in this situation, what got us to where we at, thus far.
You took that hard hit and obviously came back, but what is kind of your process like of, I don't know, shaking it off, or I saw you got on the bike, like just kind of working through, I guess, the pain?
I'm good, man. Like I tell people all the time, like I tell you guys all the time, man, I'm a tough individual. I play football, all the way up to my senior year of high school. That's because I transferred. And, it was one of those situations I kind of got exposed in the eye real quick. Anybody who get hit in the eye, your eyes going to warm up, you're going to lose vision that, eye a little bit. But for the most part, man, I was good. And, I look for the contact. I try to, embrace that. That's kind of like my game. So it's not really anything that kind of bothers me in general, and none that I have to really work off because, like I said, I look for that contact and look for that physicality to the game.
Speaking of football, what did you make of Brad's throw to you?
Touchdown. I tell them guys, man, whenever they put the ball out, no matter what, put it out there. I'm going to catch it and come down with it before it be any of you guys turn over. So, I think they're starting to get to the point where they have more confidence to, put that lead pass out there, put that full court pass out there because it could be a big part of our offense before the defense even has a chance to set up.
Brad said that it reminded him when you guys were throwing footballs at practice, and he said he underthrew you.
Yeah, no, that pass was stunning. That pass was horrible. That pass was horrible. He really made Kuz really think he could play football and cover me in the route. That pass was horrible.
Josh.
Montrezl, can you describe your approach to rebounding? I know it doesn't matter to you that it was a career high tonight, but it was a career high, and you just seem to have a knack of getting offensive rebounds, especially that other people can't get.
It's a will. I think it's the competitive spirit in me. I think it's the passion and the way I love to play the game and actually, be around this game. If you look at any of my interviews, previous all the way up until now, man, I tell you guys all the time, it's a blessing to be able to play this game and call it my job, man. So, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, that's part of my job requirement, man. And I take very high pride in it, really, man. A lot of people, thus far in the league have always said I couldn't rebound or he can't rebound out of his position or, out of the ball, in his area, man. I've heard that many times, man. So, I don't know, what do you have to say now? Is it more so that I can't rebound out of my position or, I just wasn't given the opportunity?
Thank you.
Neil.
Trez, I know you pride yourself on bringing that passion, every game, every night. Multiple times today, it seemed like you were imploring your teammates, let's go, let's make this comeback. Was there something about today that you felt like, okay, I really need to even try and dig deeper and bring more out of my team?
No. I do it every game, like you said, it's every, aspect of coming into the game and preparing for the game, really, man. It's something that I do. It's something that, I'm kind of known for in general. So if I come in with the wrong spirits or I come in with the wrong type of energy, my teammates are going to see that, man. And it's not going to put us in the place that we're trying to go. And it's never going to, be good for anybody, man. So at the end of the day, man, no matter how I'm playing, no matter how, you know, the game is going for myself, that's what it's not about that. It's a team game. It's a team sport, man. And I'm out there for my team. So it's nothing differently that I do from any other game, man. This night wasn't no different. Only reason why it seemed like I was, you know, more passionate or more fired up about the night is because we were down early, man. We was down early in the second half, big. You know, I think it was 10-15, and that's tough to, you know, kind of come back from. We just did it the other night, man, but we don't want to keep putting ourselves in these situations, man. We're going to burn ourselves out. It's a long year, and we don't want to have to keep trying to, you know, prove that we can fight back to come back on teams, man. Like, why do we keep putting ourselves in these situations?
Thanks, Trez.
All right, Trez. Appreciate you.
Yep.